Browns losers in Denver 29-12. And the big story today, of course, Dorian Thompson-Robinson leaves the game. The next to last play of the third quarter, he took a crushing hit, went into the concussion protocol. He does have a concussion. And now, Mary Kay, we're right back where we've been over and over and over again this season. We don't know who's going to start on Sunday against the Rams. And of course, Joe Flacco could potentially be in play here.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible to see what has happened with this team over the last few weeks. To lose Deshaun Watson for the entire season, now for Dorian Thompson-Robinson to leave this game with a concussion, not know who's going to start against the Rams. But it was bad enough. I mean, his mouth was bloodied. I mean, it was a kind of a horrific scene, and what a hit that was. So now we head out to L.A. The whole team is heading out to L.A. Tonight and tomorrow. And, I mean, there's a darn good chance he's not going to be able to play against the Rams, and that it will possibly be Joe Flacco. Is he ready? They certainly, I don't think, intended for Joe Flacco to be ready to start a game this soon. I think they wanted him to move up into the number 2 spot, but now it looks like it could possibly be Joe in L.A.
Yeah, of course, Flacco was not active for this game. He remained on the practice squad. They didn't elevate him, but now, Ashley, they might not have a choice in the matter. And look, if Dorian can't get out there to practice because he's in the protocol, it just makes it that much harder for him to get out and start. P.J. Walker is an option, but I would imagine if Flacco can get ready, that's the direction the Browns would want to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Part of me wonders, if they knew they were going to be in this position today, would they have considered elevating Joe Flacco and utilizing that emergency third quarterback rule that the NFL established? But yeah, I mean, I think so far you've seen what P.J. Walker can do. We know that the turnovers are an issue with him. You kind of, I think, if you're in the Browns and you're in this position and the standings are so tight, have to test out every available option at this point.
Yeah, speaking of those standings, the Browns now in third place in the AFC North, still in the playoff picture, but things obviously getting a little bit tighter with this loss. And Mary Kay, it was a lot of sloppiness today. Dorian didn't turn the ball over, but they had fumbles, they had penalties. This was a very uncharacteristic game for the Browns.
Well, it really was, but, another huge takeaway for me is the fact that Myles Garrett left the game in a sling. I mean, my goodness, the NFL Defensive Player of the Year candidate who leads the NFL with 13 sacks, left the game in a sling and is undergoing an MRI tomorrow in LA. And who knows where that's going to go, because he said he is absolutely going to continue playing. But Deshaun Watson thought he was going to continue playing too, until the doctor said, "Oh, no, you're not." And, I think Myles will probably end up seeing the shoulder surgeon that performed Deshaun Watson's surgery. So, we just don't know where this is going to go with Myles. If Myles is out for any length of time, this could get ugly.
Well, and even if he's not out, Ashley, we've seen him play through things. We saw him play through COVID a few years ago, back in 2020. But if he's not the same guy, it's still it's great to have Myles out there. But if he's not the same Myles, you can tell.
It's true. I mean, I think when you look at his injury history, you say the COVID year, which obviously wasn't an injury, but he's admitted that slowed him down. You look at last year when he was dealing with that shoulder injury and the bicep injury after the car accident, I think that slowed him down noticeably. He does have a tendency, I think, because of the position he plays and because of what he's so good at, using that speed, and his bend is what everybody always talks about. Even the most minor injury can really hinder you. It's why the last few years he's focused on his core muscle strength as a big thing in the offseason, because that controls so much. But I do think it's a very delicate balance when you have a player as good as he is. He can still be effective, but it's not going to be to that same level depending on the injury.
Okay, well, as Mary Kay mentioned, the Browns will practice in L.A. They play the Rams on Sunday. And, Mary Kay, I'm not going to make you say must win, but this is a game against a Rams team that they should be able to beat. Then they come home and play Jacksonville, and with that playoff picture tightening up, so many questions for this Browns team. They've got to get this all figured out quickly, and they've got to do it not at home.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. This business trip was supposed to be an uplifting thing, just get bonded even more so than they already are for that home stretch, and just bring this thing home. Go to the playoffs, and everybody's happy. But now it really is bunching up. It's tightening up. I mean, the Broncos just won their 5th straight game. They're now breathing down the neck of those 7-4 teams. The Browns and the Steelers are 7-3. Browns are in 3rd place. And it's a tight battle, and the Browns don't have some of their key players now to get this thing done.
Yeah, I mean, Ashley, we were in that locker room after the game. Obviously, there was Amari Cooper. His x-rays were negative on those ribs, but we saw other players who were banged up. Jordan Elliott left this game with an ankle injury. Dorian Thompson was getting his hand looked at. I doubt he'll miss time, but, you just saw guys, you saw a beat-up football team leaving this game.
Yeah, I mean, I want to touch on Amari Cooper here because we've been saying for months since the preseason that what do you do if something happens to Amari Cooper? Like, that is the one guy I think that this offense cannot afford to lose right now in terms of making it function, being able to move the ball down the field. He is truly that safety valve in just about any scenario. And Amari Cooper is tough. We know he's played through injury before. He played through a core muscle injury last year that ultimately required surgery. So the x-rays being negative are definitely good news, but of course it's something we're going to have to watch now as the week goes along and how he's going to respond.
Okay, well, whatever happens throughout the week, we're going to have it covered all at cleveland.com/Browns.